Do not skip over the Autowrite this week, guys. We have some gems coming at us. Let's get into it.
Give me love, give me all your love, oh, 'cause I want you. No one else makes me feel this way, don't know what you do. Hold my hand, could you hold my hand, look me in the eyes. You and me, yeah, that's all I need, and I'll be alright. I'll be right here, I swear that I'll stay here with you. Hold me closer, I wanna stay here with you. All that we have is each other now. I promise I won't leave you.
All right, hello everyone. It's Michelle Patterson here with Angel Souls, and this is your weekly Angel Autowrite and Oracle card reading for the week beginning May 7th, 2018. Before I get into this, if you would like a personal reading with me, I'm getting pretty caught up now, so I might be able to get them to you a little bit faster than the 3-week waiting time. So if that's something of interest to you, get in line. Just go to my website at angelsouls444.com, the services page. Please read everything before you purchase a reading. I have still a lot of people who are confused about the format, the wait time, so on and so forth. Just realized I have my glasses on. Let's not deal with glasses right now with the light shining off of them. Anyway, if you would like to go and check out Gumroad, I have a whole workshop series up there now. That is the newest thing. So it's basically getting down to working on the stuff that we talk about, right? So there's different phases, so you can go over there and check it out. There's Oracle card reading classes there, or videos, lectures, whatever you want to call it. Also, I still have the Archangel series up over at Gumroad as well, where we, just look at every single Archangel. Not every single one, there are many, but there are several up over there for you to check out. Also, how to perceive your angels. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, I always leave all that information down below. And I just want to say a special thank you to everybody who donates through Patreon. It means so much to me. It shows me that you support me, you care about what I'm doing here. And I can't say thank you enough. My love and, my love to you, and I hope that you get so many blessings coming to you. All right, now, let's see if I can read this without my glasses. Probably not. I say this all the time. I'm like Velma. Her name is Velma, right? From Scooby-Doo. Yeah, it's like that. All right. So it says, you may have come to a lonely time where abandonment floods you. This is the ego spurning. Is that a word? Spurning and holding on to the old way. Now, I do want to stop and talk about that a little bit, because how many of us do feel very isolated? That's something that doesn't get a whole lot of attention often. Because I think especially people who want to live, they're choosing to live in the surface level of life, they define themselves by how many friends they have, how many social activities they have to do, so on and so forth. So we kind of, when you're going on your spiritual awakening, whatever phase you're in, wherever you feel like you are with that path, it can feel like you have to withdraw a little bit so that you're in the silence to hear what your heart is trying to tell you, what you need to know at this time, so on and so forth. But, and it gets people in trouble, doesn't it? When we start to feel a little bit alone, because then we end up in these groups that are like meditation groups, but maybe you have somebody who is just controlling the whole group and trying to act like teacher, right? Or, you get with a group that's supposed to teach you something, and here you are getting sucked into something that's almost, in some cases, in extreme cases, it's almost cult-like, right? We have one ruler and everybody else is supposed to just fall in. And not only that, but they're supposed to go and spread the message of that ruler. It gets weird, okay? It's not all pure, and we're going to see that here. So they're just acknowledging that some of us may have felt alone, isolated. And they even use the word abandoned, okay? Or they say abandonment. So, that's the old way. So that's the ego telling you don't let go of what we always thought should be, right? Don't let that go. You needn't feel alone, as the darkness is only you all. So there was this feeling that they really wanted to point out every single person that might be watching this video. You all passing through a tunnel, if you like, so to speak, a tunnel. If you allow the fear, what? I can never read my writing. If you watch me every week, you know I can never read my writing when I do this. If you allow the fear to become your truth, you will give up and stay where it is dark, fearful of your own company and potentials of what lurks around you. So just being frozen in fear to move on. So you end up making yourself feel stuck, okay? And even so, other people at this time, they might be moving past you, and that can aid in that feeling of abandonment, you know, like nobody's willing to sit in the darkness with me. What's going on in the world? There's so many horrible things, you know, and I feel you, you know, I see the news every once in a while too, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you know, so on and so forth. So that's like hunkering down. We talked about clamping down and closing off, and I think this is the same kind of idea here. All right, where were we? Potentials of what lurks around you. To this we say, do not give up on yourselves. The promised change is here. It's here, okay? Do you not feel that energies have shifted? If you are one to say, no, I do not feel change, then you are stuck still in that long, dark tunnel. Free yourselves from schedules. Try another approach. Allow more opportunities and people to connect with you. This is the time to say farewell to the old paradigm, and they put human word, and leave yourselves free to experience more. Shift with the waves and breathe freedom of true knowledge. So stop thinking that you know everything, right? And also there's a message here of stop overcorrecting, right? We see that so much. Got a whole example, but maybe I'll spare you this week. But no, I won't. I'm going to tell you the example. So when we overcorrect, you know, we see this in the spiritual community. Oh, well, we deem this bad, so we're going to all run over this way, and now we're going to do this. It's a big thing with, let's say, diet, okay? I just recently, one of the things I've always avoided is sugar, fat, salt. I would, you know, do really hard hikes. I would, you know, and I would do them often. And then I would balance that out with some yoga. And, you know, I mean, I was like really working it here, you know what I mean? And come to find out, I've actually basically exhausted my body. And what I need right now is salt in my diet. And what I need is that protein. And I need to be eating as my body was kind of instinctively telling me to eat, which was, you know, a few small meals or several small meals throughout the day. So this is a time to really stop worrying about overcorrecting, because somehow, yeah, they're saying that people overcorrect because they don't like feeling wrong. And so it's like they're almost trying to make amends for how they used to live. So they end up living in completely the opposite way. It's all about balance, as we will see. It's all about balancing out, you know, what you think should be and, you know, where you're heading, I guess. So listen to your own truth. If something doesn't work for you, see, this is why a lot of people can't go vegetarian or vegan. I can tell you right now, I cannot go vegetarian or vegan. It's going to destroy my body. Oh, that's not true. Rah, rah, rah. Vegan is the way to go. As soon as you're pushing your agenda, respect for people who are respecting animals. Love that 100%. But if you're then not respecting fellow humans, I mean, come on, you know? But this is like that whole thing of being extremist. You know what I mean? So if you are going to be extremist about something in your own life, you know, pick something, whatever you're very passionate about, you can't then point the finger at other extremists and say, you're horrible, you're doing it all wrong when you're doing it yourself. Okay, so that's kind of a message coming through as well. Again, it's not about feeling wrong. It's about just kind of looking at your situation and trying to come back to center, come back to balance. Okay, where the heck were we? All right. Okay, so let go of the old paradigm and leave yourselves free to experience more. Shift with the waves and breathe freedom of true knowledge and understanding. That was all I had to finish from that. I know I reread it, but whatever. Okay. For you, these supposed individuals are the bringers. Oh, wait, what? For you, these supposed individuals. So I think they're saying you're actually all one, but we're all one. But these individuals, as we call ourselves, are the bringers of peace, despite what collectives do. Okay, be not of a group mentality if that group works against forces bringing balance. And that is all. Light and dark are of stark contrast now to us as we imagine it. But when balanced, one strengthens one and tempers the other. Think upon this with love, your angels. So when there is a melding, a blending of those energies, okay, that's where, you know, we're all both light and dark, right? So you do in an extreme, if you go into extreme darkness, you see people doing horrible things in the world. If you go into extreme light, you see people who are in denial and burying their heads in the sand and pretending like they're not in human bodies. Balance it out and acknowledge how you actually are, right? Let me go back to this because there was something here that they're wanting me to say. What is it? Oh, what the collectives do. Yeah. So what ends up happening, I guess, again, it kind of goes into that overcorrecting. So we get into these groups and we think we're a part of something. This is correct. See, there's that pitfall of being correct. This is the right thing to do. And then that collective, because of all the energies coming together, it really shoots out a certain message. So if you're going to be a part of something, make sure you know what you're a part of, right? And they're saying we have to be the carriers of peace no matter what we're seeing in the story outside of us. We have to constantly keep balance, groundedness, being centered, and we need to bring the peace. Okay, so having said that, let's get on to the cards. All right, so as always, I am using the Crystal Oracle deck by Rochelle Sharman. Yeah, I've said it so many times, it's like autopilot now. And then I will be pulling a color card from the Ina Segal deck, the Color Therapy deck. All right. We're coming into a time where we're going to be a lot less polarized. And that doesn't, we're seeing signs of that with the blending of genders or just an acknowledgement. It's not like it's anything new, but it's, an acknowledgement coming out of this mindset that there's only two genders, right? So that's one clue, but that's not the only clue. I want to make that very, very clear. It's not just about that. Or it's not about people saying, I don't want to be labeled, just, call me whatever. But this is, again, it feels like personal acknowledgement. Hey, yeah, I can get angry sometimes. Hey, yeah, you know what? Sometimes I have cheated somebody to get ahead. It's acknowledging that we have that shadow aspect and balancing things out. Honestly, it's always, since the moment I've gotten into the spiritual community, it's always creeped me out when I'm sorry. Here's my shadow side coming forward. But if I'm being genuine and honest, it's always creeped me out when people are like, I'm just of love and light. When they're so far trying to avoid, and that's all it is. That aspect of them is still there. That shadow aspect is still there, but they just deny it. And they pretend like it's not happening. And as a stellium Scorpio, I'm not one for people who resist transformation. And I'm not really one for people who... don't try to fool me, okay? Like Scorpios are supposed to be like the kings and queens of mystery, right? I think, or something. That's like a stereotype. But like, in all honesty, I really don't like it when somebody tries to pretend that there's something that they're not, because being empathetic, I can feel it. And then a lot of times people will use that to put themselves above others. If you followed me, that's the one thing that really ticks people off and makes them want to unfollow me and whatever. It's because I say stuff like that, because it threatens their delusion. Reason why I'm bringing that up here is I think, I've been talking about this for years, since I've started Angel Souls. But we're in this time of big shifting, okay? So don't get pulled in by people who are in denial, and don't judge them either. And I know I'm sounding a little judgy, and I don't mean to. I mean, still all the love for these people. But they got to do their own thing. Try to be in the center, try to be very balanced and acknowledging who you actually are, not who you think you should be. We say that all the time too. All right, first card up. Yes, Aquamarine. Yeah, Aquamarine communication. Isn't that ironic? Michelle can't seem to communicate properly today. All right, so there it is. Now, this Aquamarine crystal, I love Aquamarine. Oh my gosh. I think I have a lot of jewelry, which I oddly never wear on camera. I don't know why. But this isn't just about, it's about honesty. Okay, so think throat chakra. So being honest with yourself, being honest with others, leveling with them, having enough respect for your fellow humans to just level with them. This doesn't mean be sassy. Well, maybe I should be talking to myself about that. Well, I'm just saying, you don't have to handle everything with an attitude. You don't have to be defensive with everybody. It's not a thing of fight them before they can fight me. But this is leveling. Speak your truth. Honestly, this is where I'm at right now. And be open to hearing what somebody else has to communicate to you as well. And if they are communicating anger and whatever, just in your mind, ask yourself, is this really about the situation? Or is this something that has compounded from something else going on in their life? Because you never know. It could be that. That does not excuse people for being jerks to one another. Oh, they're just having a bad day. So they have their jerk license ready to come out. I'm having a bad day, so I can treat everybody the way I want. It does not work that way, I don't think. All right. So anyway, watch how we're communicating with one another. Okay, that's another part of this card. But the Aquamarine is all about angelic communication, guys. It's that higher level of communicating. Or it can be with your spirit guides or your higher self, or talk to God, pray. You know, this is talking about focus on the holy communication. Okay, now, one of the things I get asked the most, we'll go over this just really quickly. How do I know if it's my angels, my spirit guides, or if it's an interloper? Right? Now, not every astral being that kind of tries to come in and interfere necessarily has bad intentions, but they're not the beings you're supposed to be listening to. Always plug into your body. Your body will let you know. If you start to feel a little stressed, that's not your angel. When you feel kind of at peace and you feel kind of level and like, okay, I'm ready to listen, your angel and your guides, you know, or angels, most people have more than one, they're going to make you feel more expanded, okay? Fear kind of melts away. And they're going to be very straightforward with messages that they give you, but, you know, it's not something that's there to harm you, okay? So just bear that in mind. Pay attention to your body. All right, so the next card we have, Diopside, Mother Earth. So there's the groundedness. So this is divine feminine energy as well. Mother Earth, right? So connecting with nature, of course. So here's, every card is going to have a surface level meaning, and that's going to have kind of a deeper meaning. So for this, I think this is on the surface, connecting with nature, detoxifying through nature, connecting to the earth by literally, you know, one of the greatest ways of healing yourself, your physical body, is by laying in the grass. Now, I lay a towel down because I'm not trying to get bugs in my hair. I love the earth. I just don't need you in my hair, okay? But Diopside also talks about let yourself grow. Let yourself, you know, there's a card, what is it, the brown card in the color deck, which shows this rich, fertile soil with a little sprout coming out. And I think we talked about that last week, where it's so dramatic to grow, isn't it? Right? And I think this is showing, like, you know, you're supported by the earth. Again, on a deeper level, this is grounding, and this is embracing that divine feminine aspect. Everybody has it, all right? So we're talking about empowerment through the divine feminine, and being more nurturing towards ourselves, towards other, and being mindful of the earth. You know, I was just talking about veganism. That can be an awesome thing. You know, obviously respecting the animals, respecting the earth, so on and so forth. But, you know, I was just talking about people who tend to get a little extremist with it, just to be clear. Okay, so then we have Stibnite, conflict. Now, I want to say, because I saw, like, I want to say like 3/4. Okay, I sort of saw this coming week on like a bar slide, which is weird. But I saw about 3/4 of the way through the week. I think this is the ego. And I think this is sort of like the inner rebel that flares up and says, no, I don't want it like this. Now, some people are going to take that conflict and take it outside of them. They're going to start fights with people. Or, you know, unfortunately, people bring that conflict into group mentalities, and that's what they were talking about in the Autowrite. Then it just amplifies the conflict. And there's got to be a better way. We got to start learning how to communicate in a way that doesn't, the glare, that doesn't, you know, alienate people who are really just like us. But for a lot of people, so that's 3/4 of the way through the week, so we can kind of see what happens. Maybe it's for you individually, but it could be out there. Some conflict coming up. Some of you might be very conflicted about how to feel. Yeah, some of you, okay, 2 layers, individual and out there. So how things are working for you. The financial system is going to flip. Maybe not this week, but it's coming, okay? Very soon. We're going to see that whole flip. So you might be conflicted about what to do next or how to move forward. What does this mean for my bank account? But they're even saying now, it's more mental than anything, okay? So, yeah, it's more mental than anything because you're just not used to this. This is like, wait, what? Hopefully, okay, give me more on that. Debt structures transforming. And I've felt that for a while. I kind of wonder, it'd be really nice if this happened, but you know, I'm wondering if there's not this thing where it's like Suddenly it's almost outlawed to charge people as much as they are for, let's say, credit card debt. Exposed. Something gets exposed. And it's going to work in the consumer's benefit, to the consumer's benefit, where it's like, whoa, 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 something gets caught. Like, and it's been going on for decades. Okay? Where people, I don't know. I don't want to say too much because like I start to say something and then I kind of like, I don't know that we have a firm understanding of what this would be like. Maybe that's why they're kind of like careful, because I don't want me to lead you down the wrong road, right? So thinking that something like, oh, your debt's going to be forgiven. Maybe not. But definitely, maybe it's something, I guess I'm allowed to say this, something like interest rates as an example. They're not allowed to, there's going to be a cap on that. And then there might be some retroactive kind of benefit for people who have for decades had to pay at a certain interest rate. I don't know. It's something like that, something that works in our benefit or to our benefit, and how we exchange money and how money itself is going to change. We know that, right? Yeah, I don't know. It feels good. It feels very Taurus. I have Taurus rising. It feels very Taurus. And I know isn't Uranus going into Taurus on May 15th or something? Yeah. So some people are going to hate that though. The new stuff that starts coming up. And it's more, the feeling is because they're like, hey, that's not fair. I learned. I played by the rules. Now they're changing the rules. That's not fair. Oh, these people who just, got themselves into debt. Oh, what they just get, blah, blah, blah. It's not fair. So there might be some of that coming up. I feel that way with language. I grew up, I went to fourth grade. Okay. I don't know if everybody in the world went to fourth grade, but I did. And we learned about grammar. You notice nobody wants to use adverbs anymore? Don't take it personal. Or more everything. What? there is such a word as like, this is prettier than this. It's not more pretty, it's prettier. At least last I checked. It's been a long time since I've been in fourth grade. Maybe I'm wrong. But nobody wants to speak. But anyway, it's the same kind of thing. Like that kind of feeling. Like why doesn't anybody know grammar anymore? And it's like becoming mainstream now. They're going to start changing the textbooks if they haven't already. I see it coming. But I feel that. I'm like, that's the one thing I was good at. Again, I've been a little disconnected from it, just because of my age, but, the distance from elementary school. But we're going to see that kind of conflict. And this is going to cause arguments with people. People are going to be back and forth, again, trying to be right. We need to let go of this need to be right. We also need to let go of the need to tear people down, even if you're doing it in a very subtle way. Oh, did you know that you did this? Oh, I was just joking. No, they're digging at you. So again, you can let it go. If it's minor, let it go. But start being aware of that stuff and make sure you're catching yourself too if you start going down that road. Oh, this is beautiful. So we have pink tourmaline, forgiveness. Now, this is a lot of things. We were talking about debt forgiveness. I hope so. I went into debt doing this business. I want some relief, please. All right, so this is all about forgiveness. But this is forgiving the old way. This is having to forgive government. So if something comes up, oh boy, that conflict card is across the board. It's a lot of different things. I can feel that. But the forgiveness card is making that, can I call it an ascended choice? I hesitate to use that term, but making this choice to go, you know what? Okay, so that happened. I can forgive that. At least we're getting down a better road now. At least now we're taking some of the power back. And I want to make it clear that this is not to engage. Don't overcorrect. Don't go into power struggles. Okay? It's not going to help us. Forgiveness. Let's talk about that a little bit more. So that pink card, resonates with the higher heart. Yes? And so that's Archangel Chamuel. I think of it as Archangel Chamuel's territory. Everybody has a different take on it, and that's completely cool. No worries. But this is finding like, okay, in order to love myself, I need to let this go. In order to love myself, I need to not allow myself to get pulled into conflict. I need to, healthy boundaries, as always, you want to establish boundaries. But if somebody wants to take it to the next level, let them play on that playground themselves. You don't have to join them. Okay? I want to talk about Archangel Muriel as well. So that energy is in here. So working with Archangel Muriel, that's with an M, okay? And, explore that Archangel a little bit. I want to get onto the cards here. But explore that Archangel a little bit and really just communicate with the angels. Be grounded. So there's this beautiful feeling of immense balance. That's Archangel Sandalphon, kind of territory as well. And any conflict that comes up, let it come on up, examine it, and move on through it. Practice forgiveness. You have a lot of angelic help here, okay, to help you. All right, so I have my color deck behind me. All right, let me just clear these out really quickly and we'll get the color card. All right, let's see what else we have here. Oop. Almost dropped the deck. Overall, I want to say, first of all, I want to address something. I've had people write in, I don't like your readings because how can it possibly pertain to everybody? At least when you broke them down by sign, there was a chance that it could pertain to us. You're in the dark tunnel. All right, these readings are looking at overall energies for everybody. Everybody can take something away from these. I'm not an astrologer, so I'm not obligated to do those monthly readings, and I've explained that over and over and over again, and yet still people are like, where's that free content? But that's, it's like surface level reasoning. But I just want to make sure that people are not shutting down these messages that are coming through, because, in this whole thing, like, well, it didn't resonate that much with me this week. It's because you shut down something within you, and you're not taking all this in. If you're not ready to, that's fine. But please don't walk away thinking of yourself as so separate from everybody else that messages that are being delivered couldn't possibly pertain to you. Be careful, okay? Don't shut down from what is coming through. And if you do find yourself getting triggered, for example, go off and meditate about that. Why did that trigger me? Did that raise fear in me? So on and so forth. Okay, well, here we go. Azure, protect yourself. The number is 36. Something is completing. So protect yourself from this conflict. And a lot of times, sorry, can you see the card? All right. So a lot of times people want to jump to the conclusion that they are therefore in danger if they need to be protected. This is more about protecting your sanity. Like don't get wrapped up in the conflict. Like I said, when it comes up, just kind of look at it and flow through it. All right. But there's a whole other new way of being. We've been talking about this for forever, but protect yourself from things that will get you off path. Protect yourself from things that threaten to throw you, or kind of threaten to throw you into such a state. Again, it's that whole clamping down and then not being open to what you need to do next, and not being willing to, I almost want to say not being willing to explore your future, which is kind of weird. It's that whole thing of the tunnel, being stuck in the tunnel and being too afraid to keep going forward because you can't see where it's going to end up. So you give up, right? And then you stay stuck. So this is asking you to protect yourself from your own ego in a way. That's not to, okay, that makes the ego sound really, really bad, and it's not. But watch the internal conflict that you go through and make sure you're protecting yourself, forgiving. Thank you. You can protect yourself through forgiving. There's that. And allowing things to flow. Kind of just let them flow through it, like let other people do their own thing, you do your own thing, but know that everyone's kind of going through the same thing. That makes no sense, I realize, but but it does. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So you might have your own individual expression of the energies this week, but remember, you're still a part of the whole. Anyway, let's leave it there. I'm sending you so much love, and take care.